We can hear you just fine.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, so good evening to you, I guess.
Good evening. Yeah, sort of early evening, afternoon. Yeah, and good morning to you guys.
Yeah, we're just getting started. It's 9 a.m. here.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell us a little about yourself.
Cool. So I'm Ben Glasscock. I'm a strength coach, both online and in person, based at a gym near me in Hampshire, UK. Big fan of anything strength training, and recently sort of getting kind of obsessed with grip training and grip work as well. So thank you for Kitty for recommending you guys and sort of allowing me to check out your stuff, and obviously getting the first golden potatoes over to the UK.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah.
You just pulled 78 pounds today, and
yeah, really big lift. And I tried it after, and it was maximal. So fair play to her and her elongated thumbs. It's very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. That lift pulls your thumb right open.
It's horrible. Like, I've got really small thumbs as well, so it's not ideal for that kind of grip, for pinch gripping and stuff like that. But my grip for time is all right. But yeah, very impressive from her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't do that lift, that weird, awkward lift. I stick to the pinch lift and the deadlift, and for Hercules hold. So that's a fun one.
That's it. Yeah, it's just that that sort of intriguing factor of the fact that it's literally a potato. I was very impressed with this sort of craft that you guys did on that. What did you do? Did you get like an actual potato and then sort of mold it around that? And then obviously you've got the mold ready for all the. That's ridiculous.
Magical garden, as you saw on
yeah,
they
grow that way.
They just grow that way. We just farm them. So I mean,
that's crazy. Well, because they come out gold and stuff as well. That's mad.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a video on our Instagram you can see where we actually harvest you.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah,
the grip gods give you a good harvest. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, just as long as there's a lot of people in the area that are motivated to do grip work. Yeah, absolutely.
The optimal grip environment. Fantastic.
So, what motivates you to compete?
Good question. I've always been sort of quite competitive in any sport. At school, I used to play rugby, not at a high level or anything, just enjoyed it as a sort of team sport. And then as I got older, sort of relying on team sports got a little bit more difficult with, having to show up at a certain time for practice and sort of, tryouts and all that kind of stuff. So kind of just took myself off and, got into the sort of gym work side of it and strength aspect, and it's kind of progressed from there. I think competing is that sort of end goal, that motivator to your training, and you can kind of structure it around that. And then I just love competition days. I love everything about it as as a lifter and a coach. There's always good positive vibes. You can find some really good like-minded people, and just all stuff like that. It's really the kind of highlight of an end goal for training. It's really good. I can't remember a competition, lifting aside, like the whole experience where I've hated it or not enjoyed it. It's always a good time. So I just get motivated by that, really.
Awesome. Now, is there a reason you picked rugby over football? It seems like rugby, a lot of people train more strength and try to get strong there, where football, you're running around for 90 minutes and people, kind of feed more towards endurance, and I haven't really seen a really buff football player that I can remember. So.
Yeah, I mean, the draw to rugby, like, I've got 2 left feet, so I literally have, my coordination with the football was always terrible. Whereas rugby, it was like, oh, it's a ball game, but you can run into people and, tackle people kind of as hard as you want. And that kind of pulled me in a little bit more than tripping over a football and stuff. So, yeah.
Right.
It's a good one. And obviously, there's that physicality to rugby. It's a bit like, American football, NFL. There's that sort of physicality behind it, where gym work and sort of strength and conditioning does really help the sport rather than, doing the sport, helping the sport. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the athleticism in football is insane. European football.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're both unbelievable. Like, you take it at a high level. You know, I don't know why people sort of talk down certain sports. You know, CrossFit gets a lot of flack as well. I mean, you can learn a lot from all different types of sports. You know what I mean? Like, you can take away a lot of things from them. I mean, I'm even interested in stuff like you know, music and everything like that. I think you can take away a lot from just different things. You know, someone's stage presence or how they sort of present themselves. It all kind of links in. You know.
Again, anything that somebody's really a professional at or perfected, you could always take away something, because if you put that much time into anything, you have to have mastered your craft in one way or another. So
that is exactly it. Yeah, I think you know, when people are kind of closed-minded, well, that's cardio, well, that's CrossFit. You know, it's kind of a closed-minded view to sort of, you know, people's firstly interests and hobbies, but also you know, just sports and high-level stuff in general. It's there's always a takeaway from something, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree 100% with that. What do you consider your greatest athletic achievement?
Me personally.
Yes, you personally, or since you're
me personally. I'm pretty proud of pulling 300 kilos in competition, deadlift raw, for powerlifting at the age I did and kind of the ability I had. And I'm also probably pretty proud of going into my first strongman comp, intermediate, and winning that, and winning 4 events out of the 5. I was pretty chuffed with that. I'd probably say that the deadlift is the highlight, but I'm sort of taking it 2 different sports, sorry, like powerlifting and strongman. Okay. But yeah, that'll probably be the highlight from both. But I think I'm always a little bit sort of reluctant to share that kind of thing, because I always feel like I have very high expectations for stuff I kind of want to achieve in the future. You know what I mean? So that kind of, I'm like proud, but never satisfied. You know, it's that constant sort of search for something more. So, but if we're taking it at sort of face level, those are my 2 sort of achievements in both the things I've done, really.
So on the other side of that, since you are coaching and stuff, and I know you got to be proud of some of your athletes, what do you think one of your highest coaching achievements has been? What have you enjoyed some from your athletes, and you know, what has really surprised you, I guess?
That's a big, tough question, because I've coached so many people over the years. I think I've had quite a few people get to sort of very high levels. So I had a couple of guys get to world level for benching. And, you know, a highlight for me was going over with my friend Dan to Barcelona, to the Arnold Classic there, and, you know, coaching him at his bench only competition, it was just crazy to see competition at that level, you know, with like the warm-up room and everything was very serious and sort of, you know, high level. And for me as a coach, it was kind of reassuring, like, well, you know, you are able to coach at this level. You know, it was almost like a big confidence booster for me, but the whole experience was fantastic as well. And then there's just loads of other things as well. I'm really proud that I was able to start taking on women as clients. Like, I was men only for quite a while. And then my girlfriend was a coach as well, and she was female only. And then I started to take on females. So I was really proud of sort of having the ability again to coach them, and sort of, you know, again, that confidence booster of kind of knowing what I'm doing, because there are differences in sort of male and female athletes. So that was a good sort of big step for me. And then just sort of general ones, you know, like, it's always rewarding to go to competition, see someone enjoy it, and, you know, make progress and hit sort of personal best. So it's always a rewarding job in that sense.
So are you more proud when one of your athletes hits a huge achievement, or for yourself personally?
I would say equally as excited, definitely. I get very invested in my athletes, especially, you know, when they've really stuck to it and really sort of impressed me with their work ethic and stuff like that. You know, when they sort of really deserve it, there's just no better feeling than when it pays off. I would say, yeah, there's definitely that sort of equal excitement, and, you know, I get just as nervous for them and get like that adrenaline rush as I would for myself.
Yeah, I can see, you know, just even through the lift when they're, you know, in a competition, you're over the moon cheering for them, and people are like, oh, you're right there with them. Yeah, of course you are. You know, you spent so many hours in there helping them the whole time. So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just that. It's like a lot of work has gone into it, you know, either online, in person, you know, all the technique work and sort of building up and the patience that requires. And they've invested in me. They've trusted in me. It's definitely a very, very rewarding job in that sense. Just sucks that, you know, competitions haven't been on for the past year now, isn't it? So I'm gonna manage to sneak in 2 competitions whilst things kind of, you know, were looking pretty normal, and then it all went bad again. So yeah, it's been about a year that everyone sort of missed out on stuff like that, which sucks. But it's good to have you know, allowed people to get creative. You know, I've recently done an online strongman competition for some people, which has been really popular. You know, or people doing sort of mock competitions in their home gyms and stuff like that. You know, it's been decent to at least get some sort of positive stuff out of it.
For sure. I think it's really intriguing actually seeing competition go away for so long, because we're going to get to this point where we see some no-names come out of nowhere that's been working their butt off for a year and just surprise everybody, whereas maybe some of the top guys have got a little bit complacent, haven't trained as hard, and they might slip in the standing, so to speak, and you're going to see this weird tug-of-war almost to see what happens in the next year or so with what.
That's very, very true, yeah. Very good point. Well, exactly, yeah. See some surprising contenders. I think that will happen both at sort of like amateur level and pro level as well.
Yeah.
In sort of, you know, quite a few different sports as well. So yeah, it's really good point. At least they'll bring a bit of sort of spark back to that sort of high level competition.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think if you're going to dwindle down to like high school level, you get the stars of high school getting a little relaxed, and you get the junior varsity kids just training their butts off at home for a year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You'd be surprised how much sort of progress you can make with, you know, 6 months hard training with kind of that only to focus on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about prepping for comps and big stages. So tomorrow there's a huge stage, obviously, Super Bowl. The halftime performance, and you talked a little bit about musicians. I mean, they're obviously performing on a bigger stage than any strongman or any weightlifter's ever going to perform on. You know, 100%. More eyes on them. So, is it you draw from those kind of performances their manner of reducing their anxiety, keeping themselves calm? Is that it? Their preparation to perform on such a huge stage? Is that sort of what you
well, exactly. I find it sort of, it's almost like motivating that they've sort of, you know, that they're doing that. I find like, you know, any high level sport, like it just gets my, I don't even know how to describe it. It's sort of like, it gets my adrenaline going, seeing someone else do that. You know what I mean? Like, you see just these unbelievable moments in sport, or, you know, some people at sort of, you know, Rock AM Ring and massive festivals like that, playing to, you know, literally hundreds of thousands of people, and it just gets my adrenaline going. I don't know why, like I always want to, it just pumps me up to lift.
Absolutely. It's just amazing what they're doing.
So even in like films, I love, like you can draw, I sort of just like drawing little bits like that of sort of motivation, like you know, when there's like just insane bits in films and cinema, that sort of, you know, gets you going as well. Like if you've ever listened to the Interstellar soundtrack to lift to, it is unbelievable. Like the goosebumps you get, you do not need, you know, you need a strong bottle of ammonia or smelling salts and the Interstellar soundtrack, and honestly you'll lift anything.
Okay, Interstellar soundtrack.
Give it a go.
We'll down. We'll play
you'll get in the zone, honestly.
So let's go the opposite end of the spectrum. So sometimes everything goes wrong and you're not in the zone, or your performance messes up. What's your greatest blunder or injury? How do you deal with that?
Oh, that's a good one. It wasn't in a competition, actually. My biggest sort of gym related blunder, I'd say, I basically a couple of months before the incident, I had laser eye surgery. So it's fantastic, like honestly miraculous. I see you both wearing glasses. If you can ever save up for laser eye surgery, go for it. It's so good. Yeah, I was very lucky to have my dad help me with the cost for that. So I had laser eye surgery. It all went well. It was a massive success, like changed my life. A couple months later, I was in the gym, I was warming up and I was doing face pulls, and I put the resistance band over a bench. It wasn't secured, and it pinged off and got me in the eye. And it basically took my cornea off. So my cornea like split in half, essentially, bunched up in the corner of my eye and blinded me basically in my left eye. Wow. Thinking back to it, it's just so, I've got the CCTV footage. So if you guys want to, like, I don't know, maybe edit it into this video, I can send it to you if you want, and we can put it here. If not, don't worry. You might need like a viewer warning. It's not like gory, it's just cringy, because you can just see that sort of like the moment where it hits my eye. And then basically I phoned up the laser eye people, and I needed to go in for emergency surgery the next day. And that was worse than the original laser eye surgery. They like hold your eye open with this metal thing. You know, it's like a horror film, honestly, it's horrible. They hold it open, and then you just see this dental tool coming over, and they scraped my cornea back over my eye. And the surgeon was, you know, he's telling me about it, because obviously you're awake. You get anesthetic in the eye, but you're awake. And he goes, "Oh, it looks like bunched up cling film, like saran wrap." I think, do you guys call it cling film or saran wrap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, horrible. And I was like, "Oh, cheers for telling me that," you know, like trying not to be sick. And yeah, they scraped it back over, and then the healing time was a bit longer for that. But unbelievably and miraculously, my vision is just about 20/20 still. So made a full recovery.
Yeah, we might have to get that video from you and post it on.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I've watched it 1,000 times over, so one more won't hurt.
All right, so if I get LASIK eye surgery, don't work with bands for a while.
Oh, definitely not.
Wear safety glasses.
Wear safety glasses.
Yeah. Honestly, I have like PTSD from it. Like, I see people in the gym and they kind of, you know, just casually throw a band over and start doing shoulder warm up. And I'm like straight over there, charging over, like tie it down properly, you know. It wouldn't have been as bad if I didn't have the laser eye surgery, because basically the skin on your eye only heals to about 80%. So that's why it caused such an effect. But, you know, it did hit me hard. It really did. It was not nice, but I can look back and laugh now, which is good.
That makes it much worse when I watch like Fail Army in the gym, at home gyms, and see somebody smack themselves in the face with a band now. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been tagged in I think the video you're probably talking about at least 50 times.
So you spoke earlier about, you know, just having huge goals and always trying to get to the next level. So what would you consider one of your major athletic goals currently?
I would love to get to a really long-term one, and it's kind of a long shot, you know, but I always want to set sort of short-term realistic goals, and then, you know, long-term or sort of quite lofty goals, you know. I would love to get to a Giants live show. I'm wearing the thing now. That wasn't on purpose. But I do like this jumper. I would love to get to one of those shows, you know, and I'm willing to work for it and do what it takes to get there. So that's kind of high-end, lofty goal. But in the meantime, you know, there's things to cross off. Like I think Kitty mentioned, I was doing the England Strongest Man qualifier, you know, to try and get into that. So the top 20, you know, people who are in the qualifier get taken. I think I'm sitting just outside of that at the moment, but there's some guys in there who aren't British, so they wouldn't be able to do it. So I might be able to sneak in, I don't know. And, you know, maybe something like UK Strongest Man or you know, whatever the step below that is. But there's obviously a while to go, but that is kind of the end goal.
Awesome.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, if you set a big goal like that, the worst you can do, it's like there's a saying, isn't there? What is it? Aim for the moon, and the worst that happens is you fall into the stars or whatever. You know, it's kind of similar. If you're trying to achieve something huge, then the worst you're going to achieve is something still quite big. You know what I mean? So, you know, it kind of rolls that way.
I like the opposite quote too: is aim for nothing and you'll hit it every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
perfect.
Like you said, there's always something you need to be shooting for. We have a board actually in our gym that has all, you know, some of our short-term goals on it, and that we're always working towards. And even when we do our normal weekly retuning, we're only adding a pound on. We change that board because, man, I got, you know, the same amount of reps with one more pound. I'm not 1 pound closer to it. So
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? A pound at a time, weight loss, a kilo at a time, a personal PB, kilo at a time, same thing. Incremental, small, slow, consistent gains. You gain a kilo a month on a lift, that's 12 kilos in a year, 36 kilos in 3 years. That's a big old PB.
So I do have
a PR for you guys.
I have a question for your coaching abilities. How'd you increase your deadlift so well to 300 kilos? Because we struggle ourselves. So, I'm about 200 kilos on deadlift. And the problem I have is I can bang out my max deadlift for 3 or 4 reps, but I go up 5 pounds and I can't pick the damn weight up off the ground.
Yeah, it's quite a common sort of issue that people have with their deadlifts. I think some of that can come from, it's weird because what I find weird is especially with the grip stuff, is that it's kind of that thing someone can have, a 400 pound or 200 kilo max deadlift or 400 pound max deadlift, but then, do something quite unbelievable on grip. Like I have a friend who's very, very talented. He's quite a tall guy, so he's got big hands, and he's a very good rower. So maybe it's something to do with that. And his max deadlift, I think, is only about 220 kilos when he's healthy. But he's done I think he's done 100 kilo on the Rolling Thunder, which is just, 225 pounds. So that's crazy considering the margins between his deadlift max. But anyway, I'm rambling on, sorry. I think for deadlifts, one thing that's really, really good is, changing your attitude towards it if you're struggling with the sort of smaller increments of failing it if you take that small jump. So stick some really good music on, get yourself in the zone, kind of block out the fact that you might not be able to do it and just go for it. And again, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? I think that sort of switch in attitude is a big one. And then the other thing would just be, put that emphasis on it. So make sure it's sort of a priority in the program. Make sure you're attacking your weak points. So generally off the floor or something like that. Pause deadlifts would be great. Lots of back work, explosive back work like rows, one arm rows are good. And just sort of, putting that priority in the program. Just like any lift, that's why people kind of find it easy to get sort of gains on a bench press or something like that, is because they put a load of emphasis on it because it's quite easy to train. There's a reason why probably in their first 6 months of grip training, people can hit just monstrous, PRs, PBs because they put that emphasis on it. So I think deadlifts exactly the same.
Awesome, thank you.
That was a really long-winded answer. Sorry, but I thought I'd just
I felt like you were watching some of our channel when you said, you can do amazing grip things, but you can't, deadlift more than 200 kilos. So I'm like,
100%. I just don't understand it. Like I've seen your guys, or there's a couple of other grip pages I follow, like Gods of Grip, and a couple of guys in the UK who sort of fabricate their own grip tools, and they're just doing unbelievable things. And like some of the lifts I've seen on the Couch Potato, website and the record boards and on the Instagram, I'm there like, what? It makes no sense to me. But it just shows it's kind of almost a whole different type of strength, Yeah,
I think I could flask pull 200 pounds, but I can only deadlift like 430.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's just a bizarre like sort of margin. You would think, someone deadlifts 800 pounds, they're going to do something unbelievable on the potato or on a pinch block, and sometimes they just can't. They just are not able to do that.
I think though, once you get your hands trained and your hands are on the equal playing field with the grip guys, that having that extra strength does benefit a little more, because you can tell when it's really hard, you start to get your back into it a little bit. You can feel your back muscles tense up and your lats tense up. So I think that definitely does help on the highest end of grip for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's sort of whatever you prioritize, isn't it? It's like a bit like kind of building muscle and strength. Like if you prioritize building muscle, you'll build the muscle first, and the strength kind of comes a bit slower. If you prioritize getting stronger, you will eventually get bigger, but it will be, slower because you're prioritizing gaining strength.
Absolutely. Focus more on your tendons and connective elements, whatnot.
And central nervous system and all the rest. Yeah.
Sure. So what are some lifestyle habits you subscribe to that benefit the average person trying to get fit at home?
Oh, sorry. I just had a battery warning there. Just you guys went blank. Good. I think I'm still on. Trying to get fit at home.
Yeah, some lifestyle habits that you subscribe to that just help you get fit at home, help the average person get fit and healthy at home.
Good question. I think there's really easy, like accessible things like anyone can do. You know what I mean? You don't need equipment. You don't need loads of space. Get out and increase your step count. You know, something as easy as that is massively important. Helps, you know, sleep, mental health, digestion, blood circulation, you know, a whole host of other things. Eating habits, you know, COVID doesn't control what you put in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with trying to, you know, build some really good nutritional habits if you can't access a gym or equipment and stuff like that. And I think Kitty kind of touched on it as well, but get creative, you know, get inventive. Like you don't need, you know, specialist equipment to do some grip work, for example. Go find, you know, a big rock or a brick or something and just get to work on that. You do some holds, you know, some pickups, go find random objects. Like Kitty in the first lockdown here had a pitchfork and attached some sandbags to it and was doing deadlifts with it. You know, there's really, and she found an axle bar in the form of a metal pole that was just chucked over a hedge somewhere. So there's no limit on that kind of thing. You know, there's no limit on how creative you can get and stuff you can do whilst you don't have access to much and you're at home.
Yeah, we totally agree with that. We have a lot of DIYs that you've seen, and we have a natural stone garden that we love just messing around with.
Yeah, I saw that. It's awesome.
All kinds of different stone weights. And man, it's hard because it doesn't have, you know, it's not on a level bar and everything's perfectly even. It's all lopsided. Yeah. Your right hand's much heavier than your left or vice versa. And it's wild.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a whole sort of, you know, it's like try something new, isn't it? You know, whilst you don't have access to your standard stuff, try something that, you know, you've never done before, a little bit unconventional, focus on the stuff you've been neglecting. You know, for some people that might be grip work, you know, or maybe improving your core strength, you know, to protect your back and make sure that your core muscles are nice and strong, you know, something like that. Mobility, you know, there's no reason as to why people with mobility issues or, you know, flexibility issues can't do some, you know, ROM WODs or mobility routines at home. There's just no reason. You know, there's so much information out there nowadays, so much cool stuff you can do that, yeah, there's kind of no excuse really.
Exactly. And speaking of unconventional and unique, what is one of the training techniques you've discovered that may be unconventional, a little unique, that has significantly increased your performance compared to like conventional methods?
That's a good question. For me, it's sort of, that's going to make me think. For me, it's probably just giving stuff a go that you haven't given a go before. Like, you know, when you're sort of programming yourself and you're looking at strength and conditioning, there's a lot of ways to be conservative. You know, so you should obviously, like everyone knows, you shouldn't go trying to max your PR every week, you know, and trying to hit new records and stuff like that. Like you should be conservative sometimes. You know, if you've got a 200-pound overhead in the tank, try and go for it. You know what I mean? If you feel good that day and you feel it's in the tank, go for it. The worst that happens is you fail it. At least you tried to touch the weight. Yeah. You know, it's all well and good seeing on your program, stick to, you know, RPE 7 or make sure you don't go above this number. If you feel it's there and it's sensible to go for it, go for it. You know, if you don't feel it's there, obviously don't, you know, don't ignore your body and your strength levels. But for example, like Atlas stones, you know, my best is 160 kilos for a double. So 360-pound range for you guys. I'm sure you know kilos as well, but just to make it easy for if anyone's listening is American.
The other day, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's and I don't think I'd be able to replicate that, you know, on an average day, because that was like a really good day and I took what was there, you know, whereas it probably wouldn't be there right now.
That's what I need to work on for that competition coming up. It's 205.
Yeah, he's doing 205 to shoulder competition. So.
Oh no, stone to shoulder is so brutal.
Oh man, that's, you know, you really got to get that for shoulder, and that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, how you do
yeah,
that.
you gotta back yourself for stone's shoulder. You can't kind of be hesitant. It's got to be really dynamic and kind of explosive, you know.
For you, it's right around 95 kilos is what I think the ball is going to be. It's 205 pounds. So
Yeah.
So you were saying you do
I know pound to kilo conversions quite well. Luckily, I'm a bit of a nerd with that stuff as well. Like same with powerlifting, you know they have the sort of weights and it's the specific weight on the bar. I was able to do that like instantly. Someone would be like 200 kilos. I'll be like, right, you need 3 reds, a green, a 2.5, and the collars done.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone would look at me like, what is wrong with you?
I went to school for mechanical engineering and everything's in kilograms anyway. So
yeah, everything's an algorithm to try and work out.
Yeah. Kilograms to pounds, that's easy.
Yeah, that's it. Easy conversion. But yeah, you know, it's just that would be my advice. Like that's, I guess it's kind of unconventional, you know, but obviously I'm not saying if you have a coach or whatever, don't defy everything your coach is saying by trying to, you know, do a personal record or try and do something cool, you know, week in, week out. But I'm saying like, if on the day it's there, go for it. Like my plan when I did that 360-pound double on the Atlas stones was, you know, 120, and my back was tired. It was the end of an event session, but you know, I had good spur on for the people I was training with, and there it went. You know, massive personal record.
I think it'll increase your gains that much more, because why not empty out the tank if you got some left when it's, you know, the last thing you're doing for the training session, or, you know, even the confidence boost it'll build if you know, go for it and you nail it. You know, you're gonna be so much more excited that, hey, I had some left, I went for a PR and I actually got it.
Exactly. Well, it's exactly that. Yeah. And in that session, I was in very good company. I trained with Adam Bishop and Terry Hollands, obviously two world's strongest man competitors. So that was a fair amount of motivation for myself to lift it. You know, I wasn't really gonna fail it in front of those two. So that was good.
Well, we haven't used tacky. How much of a difference does that actually make on the Atlas stones?
Tacky?
We're getting like 240 to 260 stones, no tacky, but we've never touched this stuff.
That's really good. Tackless, that's about 115, 120 kilos, isn't it? 260, yeah, about 115. Yeah. That's pretty unbelievable. Tackless. I think my best tackless is it's only about 100 kilos. It makes a big difference, huge difference. If you get the right tacky, have a little look for it. I think you guys have. What do you have? You've got Dave. You might be able to get Dave Osland's because he's American, and obviously you've got Cerberus. Just have a look. Make sure, obviously, if it's really hot where you guys are, make sure you kind of get hot weather tacky. But it makes a huge difference. It's like night and day. You know, really, really big difference. So yeah, give it a go. Like if you've got some stones, you don't mind getting tacky all over. Do give it a go.
Yeah, because we always compare our stone lifts to like the very, very early days of World Strongman when they were doing it without tacky. Yeah. I mean, the biggest stone lifts up were like 335.
Yeah, which is, I think that's almost like more impressive, isn't it? Because tacky really does help. But yeah, the fact that they were doing that with just nothing on it is just unbelievable.
We're trying, one of our goals is to hit our heaviest Atlas stone with no tacky. It's 297.
Yeah, 300 pounder. Damn, that's 135 kilos or so. That would be a tough one, tacklers. Yeah. Do you guys have a platform, or do you just kind of pick it up and then drop?
We have a platform we put it on, and we have a bar we put it over as well.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
4 inches.
Yeah, 300 pounds tackless would be a really good like milestone to hit.
Yeah. So we're gonna go for that.
Maybe you could try and sort of do that tackless, and then look to maybe get some heavier stones and get some tacky on board.
Awesome. So if you can start your training all over again with the knowledge you have today, what would you do differently and why?
Oh, so much, honestly. Oh my goodness. I look back at some of my training and my thoughts to stuff, and I'm just like, you are just clueless. But I think anyone would say that, you know what I mean? Like, if I could go back 10 years, I would firstly start off by just making sure my technique was spot on with everything. When I was in my powerlifting, days, I guess I'll say, I would focus much more on accessories and overhead, and, you know, some other spits like the strongman kind of stuff, grip, and just a bit of unconventional lifting, you know, like carry work and stuff, because it's just good for general health, fitness and stuff like that. You know, my body's the best it's ever felt whilst doing strongman. You know, powerlifting, I ran into quite a few niggles and issues. So, yeah, just I would include a lot more. And, yeah, I think those are the two biggest things: technique and not neglecting, you know, quite a lot of aspects of strength training.
Okay, good answer. So what is the most important piece of equipment that you have in your home gym, and why?
In the home gym, I'd say I'm gonna ignore what I enjoy and just have what is absolutely sort of essential. I would say that it's my that it would be probably my power bar. I think, you know, getting yourself a good, versatile, good quality barbell is really important. You know, it's a Rogue Fitness, Rogue Ohio power bar.
Yeah.
One of the first power bars I ever bought, one of the first, you know, pieces of gym equipment I ever bought, sort of when I was powerlifting, and it's stood the test of time. You know, it's got a little bit of rust on it. You know, the knurling is not as sharp as it once was, but it's a fantastic barbell, which I, you know, use at least 2-3 times a week. And it's definitely, you know, stood the test of being used with lots of weights and being dropped, being thrown around, you know, used overhead for deadlifts, for rows, anything, bench press. So, yeah, I think a good barbell is definitely the most important piece of equipment in anyone's home gym, really.
Yeah, we replaced our cheap one very shortly after we started lifting heavy.
Yeah.
We realized how
Yeah.
important it was, and it makes a massive difference.
I didn't realize that I benched it back in high school when I put up like 350 on bench press, and it
That's
actually
big.
stayed bent.
Yeah, it was quite well.
Cheap barbell
Yeah.
that you got with just a crappy bench itself. It was awesome, but
Yeah, that's what I
for
mean.
a long
It's
time.
you take that for granted, sort of good quality equipment, you know. But yeah, good barbell is definitely the one. Like, buy nice or buy twice. You know, you invest in a good bit of kit like that, and it will last you years and years.
Yeah, we use our beater bar for landmine. What is that?
Yeah.
Viking press.
Viking press. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah, it's good to keep a beater bar for sure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So you said you were going to ignore what was fun. So what is the most fun thing or most fun equipment you have at your home gym?
I wouldn't be able to narrow it down to one. I definitely love these stones. I think the Atlas stones are just so fun. Yeah. And also it's quite a sort of unconventional thing to have in a garage or in a home gym. So it's that's a good one. And also my grip stuff is becoming a new favorite. You know, who else has a golden potato sitting in their garage which you use for grip grip training?
A lot of people say it's almost like a natural stone in a way that when you're lifting it with it. You just got to figure out the weird grip to it, and it's all different.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's just intriguing. You know, you see it, you tell people what it's about, and you go, "Oh, I'll have a go on that." You know, and then you kind of figure out what's good, what's not. You know, and how bizarre it is.
Speaking of, we're actually we're going to be asking you to be our official UK Golden Potato ambassador.
Yeah, fantastic, and, amazing.
We want to know if you can get some sets out to a couple other gyms in the UK,
so you guys could have friendly competition.
So you guys have some friendly competition. Is that something you can do?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I've already had people inquire and ask about it. Oh, look at those
6 sets of golden potatoes going to you.
Oh, amazing! Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I mean, I've already had lots of people ask about it. You know, people say how interesting it is, and a couple of people sort of asking, "Oh, where do I get those? How much are they?" So there's definitely some good interest. So I will spread the potato love.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll send you out 6 sets. If you need more, let us know. But we're excited.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. We're excited to get a leaderboard going in the UK. It's something we never even dreamed of really when we started just a year ago. You know, just training and doing our garage during the lockdown and getting some athletes over and just sharing some awesome advice to, you know, the average
going international. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's shows something can start small and local and, you know, kind of grow into grow into something, you know, worldwide, just like anything else does, you know, sports that start in a certain country, or specifically strength training, you know, it starts in a certain country and spreads worldwide. And that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, the knowledge we've gained is priceless. So we've increased our PRs significantly. Our strength foundation is much higher than it was before, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. That's really good.
You mentioned something earlier about you know, setting a massive PR with, you know, some huge company with Terry Hollins, like you said, and Adam Bishop, when you're working out with those guys. And you know, we have the belief as well as when you work out with other people and you have some competition there, friendly competition, camaraderie, you're usually in an environment to do more than you've ever done before. How important do you think that is when working out and finding just some great guys you could work out with?
Yeah, absolutely crucial. I think it's just probably one of the most important aspects, because not only is that the where the best sessions come from and the, you know, the best atmospheres and sort of training vibes, but also that's going to keep you in it for the long run, you know, that enjoyment aspect of it, and also to kind of push you on your days where you're not really feeling it. You know, I have had that so many times in the past where I haven't been feeling it. The people I'm with push me, or for example, they're not feeling it and I push them. You know, it's so different. But on the same token, saying that, there's a lot of credit for doing training alone. You know, I mean, I think training alone is also a skill in itself. You know, if you have a bad session and you're on your own, learning how to kind of deal with that is very important as well. You know, it's all well and good having other people to kind of rely on for that. But if you're on your own, you're not that motivated, you still get out there, you don't have the best session, that's a big kind of character builder. So, and that will set you up even more for when you do go and train with people, you know, to have just some unbelievable sessions. So yeah, I would say it's absolutely vital that you get a good support network around you, good, you know, bunch of training partners, people you can rely on to push you and just get after it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a competition coming up called the Oregon Strongest Hands, and we got some guys coming over to work out with us, and it's going to be like 40% of the competition is going to be here, since they have to
fantastic
numbers. That the two other guys in the competition with us are going to we're going to run through the whole competition right here. So when we actually get to it, it'll just be like a friendly rival almost between us again.
That's how, I mean, it's just, yeah, testosterone levels just go from there to like way above there, you know. It's just makes a massive difference, doesn't it? Like you just unlock another sort of level of strength, or you unlock that sort of other side of your mentality. Like, right, well, I'm going to lift my best today. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's going to stop me.
Yeah, got to show my buds what I can do, you know?
That's it. It's like, that's how good things happen. You know, that's how massive lifts happen.
Absolutely. So, what advice do you have for the average person trying to get fit and healthy?
The average person, find something you enjoy doing. That's like the go-to for me. You know, if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it. It's just like anything. And if you don't enjoy it because you don't want to do it. So if you don't want to do it, you're not going to stick with it. So find something you enjoy doing. If that's CrossFit, go for it. If that's weightlifting, bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, you know, any kind of sport, then do that. You know, it's got to be something you enjoy, that you can stick with and progress at. You know, have the good days, the bad days, and still kind of want to do it and have it in the back of your mind. And just stay consistent with it. Find a way to stay consistent. You know, if you don't feel that good, get in there anyway and try and work on something. You know, set good habits like that, and yeah, nothing can stop you.
Yeah, consistency is just so important.
Yeah, it's kind of like you can give sort of really generic advice, like I would say, like, you know, oh, make sure you do this, this, and that. But if the person doesn't enjoy it and doesn't want to do it, they're not going to stick with it. So all that advice becomes redundant. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's kind of a path that people have got to figure out themselves. Like having a support network and a coach and everything like that is fantastic, but it comes from the person themselves as to how successful they're going to be and how successful the venture is going to be, for example.
Exactly. I know it's great advice, and one of the best things is being consistent. It's not cute. It's not exciting. It's not like, yeah, I'm a bad boy or anything. Not
Yeah.
cute, but consistency really is so important.
It really is the key. Yeah.
It's the secret sauce, you know.
Well, that's it. And, you know, everyone's looking for a quick fix, a gimmick, a magic fix that's going to be the next best thing to, you know, lose weight, gain strength, you know, get rich quick, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, it's the fundamentals, something you enjoy, something you can stick with, and, you know, something that's that has short and long-term goals within it.
Definitely.
So on that same token, what advice do you have when something you enjoy and you're doing habitually, routinely, starts to become something that you may not enjoy as much because you're doing it so much and it's such work?
Well, that's exactly what I had with powerlifting. You know, powerlifting dried up for me. I started racking up, you know, little niggles and injuries. Suddenly the training sessions were just a chore. They weren't as enjoyable whatsoever. So make a change. You know, you have the power to make the change. Go for it. Try something new. You know, add in some bits you haven't done before. Try another sport or hobby or, you know, aspect of that sport. So for me, it was like, oh, powerlifting, right? Well, I love strength training, but I don't necessarily love, you know, doing the same 3 lifts over and over, especially when they're not increasing or they're not going very well or they don't feel good. Right. So what else can I do? What is there? Oh, strongman. Oh, you can do, you know, 30 to 50 different lifts and variations of those lifts. Well, that sounds great. Let me try that. And I loved it from that get-go. It was bizarre. I never even thought about strongman before that. Obviously I knew about it and I cared about the records and stuff. But I didn't even consider it. I was like, oh, I'll never do that. And you know, the rest is history. Yeah.
It's pretty much how we felt about powerlifting. We were the exact opposite way. We said, oh yeah, strongman, that's just regular moving your body in functional ways. Coming from a martial arts background, we were used to hip throwing people and, you know, doing things like that. So we said, well, that's just stuff that we do. It's just lifting in these ways. We looked at powerlifting and saw these guys putting up 600 pounds in a very structured position and said, no, I'll blow out my knee doing that or something.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
and I'll look at someone in martial arts and be like, how do people do that with their bodies?
A lot easier, you know?
Yeah.
And what other sport can I put 2 refrigerators on a bar and pick it up and walk with it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just crazy, isn't it? Like, yeah, once you start sort of looking into it a bit more, you go, oh, that's actually like unbelievable to watch, you know? So
the old strongman where they used to have to deadlift, you know, sacks of money and stuff. You know, that looks more exciting than weight plates.
It's so good. Like, it's just, you know, that sort of unconventional side of strength. It's always been about the spectacle, you know, and it's sort of still the same nowadays, like lifting massive balls of concrete and these, you know, objects that just look insane. It's definitely a good one to watch, you know, not taking anything away from something like, you know, martial arts or powerlifting, whatever. Everything has its own, you know, highlights, but it just comes down to, if that person or yourself or myself isn't enjoying it anymore, just make a change, make a tweak, you know. And the funniest thing is removing that pressure of sort of, and the boundaries of that stuff helps massively. Like, I bet you guys still want to include, you know, martial arts and stuff into your training in some form. You know, you might want to not get as physical, because I remember, I think you mentioned in Kitty's interview that you had quite a few injuries that you sort of suffered from. That's directed at you, Frank. So it's like, you know, just those boundaries that are kind of around it, you can sort of break those down. And now that I'm doing strongman, I still include the power lifts. You know, the power lifts are deadlifts. You know, I still bench press once, sometimes twice a week as an accessory. And, you know, squats I include now and then as well. And I really like them when I do them. So it doesn't really go away. It's just about making a change and making a shift to enjoy it more, frankly. So
one of my favorite lifts is still the bench press. I mean, it always was when I was in high school, just because it was, I mean, I think when we were that young, it was kind of an ego thing. I was good at it.
Yeah. How much do you bench, bro?
It's still a favorite, even though I favor a lot more strongman activities. I still the bench press once a week.
If someone goes, do you want to hop on the bench? You're like, yeah, of course I do. You know, because there's that love for it. Whereas if it was like, you know, right, the only thing you can train is bench, you'd probably be like, oh, bench again. You know what I mean? It's that sort of, you got to keep that novelty to it, which is I feel like what switching to strongman did for me. You know, it sort of just refreshed the whole strength training sort of, you know, adventure. Like it just refreshed the whole thing.
And then when you start looking at the cars you're going to buy based on the weight, so you can pull it down the street, you might have to strong man.
That's when you know it's creeped into every aspect of life. Yeah,
that's right. Like, we need a heavier truck or something. This isn't heavy enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get a tall one for loading race.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, any opportunity, it's like, oh, yeah. I can't look at potatoes the same way now, honestly.
Absolutely. One of our goals is to be able to crush a raw one. We don't know if we'll get there. But that is an amazing grip feat that some of the guys.
A raw potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You guys done the apple? They're tearing the apple in half.
Yeah, the apple's actually, it's not that bad. We can both do an apple. You could probably do an apple if you knew how to do it. There's a way. But the potato is insane. There's only
just like pure crush grip. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look up Tommy Helseth, you'll find potato crushes. Tommy Helseth potato crushes. You'll find some awesome ones.
Okay, I'll look that up. Yeah, stuff like that is just mind-boggling. Like it's just unbelievable. There's a guy in the UK who does similar stuff like that. It's like nail bending. And he just does some other like crazy stuff, like puts a nail like in his nose and it goes like all the way in. I just don't even know how he does it, but he's like an old school sort of circus strongman. He sort of does all that stuff, but you just look at it and you're like, how?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a guy lift some weights with over his eye socket. He put like these pads here and put the hooks on this part of his body and lifted weight with that. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
It's like, yeah, why would you do that? And anything with eyes now, as we've discovered from my injury, is like a no, you know.
Absolutely. So, do you have any questions for us, Couch Potato Strong?
Well, my only sort of question, we kind of answered it throughout the talk, but yeah, I just wanted to know sort of what your guys' direction with Couch Potato is, sort of what you wanted to do with it, but we kind of covered that. But if you have anything else to say on the matter, then go for it. Any, you know, different things that you're going to bring out? Like obviously you've got the golden potato. That's the sort of main focus. But any other grip tools you're sort of looking at inventing or bringing out?
I plan on taking welding, and so does Adam eventually, and that will obviously evolve our ability to do DIY significantly.
Yeah.
I think if you're into grip DIY, you should know welding. That'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, very true.
New tools we plan on bringing out on the horizon. The potato is more just a fun little cheeky thing that gets everybody talking about grip and just having fun, and it's a great conversation starter. That's the main reason we did that. But really, honestly, this is just a networking opportunity. Just to be able to connect to other people, learn, get advice out there for the average person. We're going to do a lot more on mental fitness pretty soon. I'm going to have an interview with a steel bender, and we're going to be talking about the mental aspects of steel bending, and it's going to evolve into that. My doctorate is in performance psychology. Yeah. So I'm going to be putting out more information on mental fitness. That's going to be a big focus, and probably over the next year. And then eventually this will evolve into a book.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And amazing.
That throughout history, you know, a lot of fitness and training things have kind of been ho-hum. If you find a secret, you keep it to yourself. You don't want to get out. You always want an advantage. We completely disagree with that. We want to, you know, find all the guys we can, talk about all the training techniques we can, and get it out to everybody. I mean,
make it sort of available and universal. Yeah.
So how important, you know, health and fitness really is. We want to make it more simple. We want to make it so that everybody can do it, that you can, you know, do things even in your older age. That's why we have some elderly people we've interviewed, and they talk about, you know, just doing soup can lifts and stuff like that. So you can stay healthy throughout, you know, your entire lifespan. And that's one thing we also want to really hit on, is just emphasizing how important health and fitness is, and how that everybody could do it, whether they have thousands of dollars in equipment, or if you're literally taking concrete, putting it in a cup and making a horn out of it, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Epic.
So that's kind of also, you know, just our focus in general, the mental aspects of it, showing people they can do it no matter what skill they're at.
Yeah.
And just starting, you know?
It's spread the word type thing. 100%. Yeah, that's really, really good.
And on the competition end, you know, it's really hard to go to a competition with training secrets that you and your coach have and win and feel that you did better than the other people if they didn't know what you used to win. So I feel like if the secrets get out, if everybody knows how everybody's training, then you have more of a fair competition.
And probably a more exciting competition because then, you know, everyone would be sort of kind of leveled up even further. And then, you know, the margins are closer and it's sort of more exciting if, you know, if everyone's kind of similar levels and knows similar things, definitely.
Yeah, the first 2 competitions we're actually entering because we haven't done competitions before. We're actually training with the athletes that are in the competition. Like we're
fantastic, yeah.
Let's you know, give a mock run of it. Let's just do some events and figure out how we can do it better before.
No secrets, no hidden stuff. Yeah.
Let me help you get better, and you help me get better.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to bigger lifts and, you know, more exciting competitions ultimately, isn't it? Which is kind of what everyone wants to see, both the competitor, because it's more fun that way when the adrenaline's pumping, you know, when everything's really close, and obviously for the spectator as well. People want to see, you know, close competitions and, you know, the finest of margins. They don't want to see some guy who, you know, knows everything and can do everything, stomp everyone else. Like, that's not as exciting to watch. You know what I mean?
I also think people get into it more when they know it's more of a friendly crap talking between you and the other athletes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. See that you guys are enjoying it and you're just giving each other bad times because you're going to when you work out with them all the time. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, not everyone likes kind of you know, negative sort of beef, so to speak. Not everyone gets on board with it. You know, obviously like trash talk and everything like that is very, very popular sort of tactic in you know, mixed martial arts, UFC kind of stuff like that, isn't it? It's very, very easy to do to kind of create hype, but there's a lot to be said about sort of positive kind of you know, friendly trash talk and stuff like that. It is a whole different kettle of fish.
Because I mean, even when you're trash talking your buddy, you know, secretly deep down, you're hoping he pulls a PR or does something cool, and then you're like, exactly, I gotta go beat him.
I've done that before with a best mate of mine in a competition, and we both ended up bombing out in a powerlifting competition. I got injured after my second squat, and he used hook grip on his deadlifts and missed all his deadlifts. So we both bombed. So it really backfired. So I tried to stay away from trash talk since. So stupid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Do you have anything you want to plug or anything you want to say as you're on here, or just mention anything at all?
Not too much. Just thanks for listening. If you got to the end, really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on, guys. Again, really, really appreciate it. If you want to give me a follow on Instagram, it's at BLG Strength. I document my training and kind of my progress and lots of other stuff on there. So if anyone does give me a follow, thank you very much. And yeah, just cheers for listening. Really good to talk to you guys from across the pond.
Absolutely. Definitely give him a follow. I mean, awesome guy. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your knowledge. And, you know, we're obviously going to be in touch more often. We'll get all these signed up and sent out to you. We're excited.
Sounds amazing.
How everybody does across the pond with these bad boys.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Golden Potato will be officially designated throughout the UK.
Yeah.
That'll be great. See what you guys pull. Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe you can get Collins or Adam Bishop to hold one of our records.
Yes, I'll try and get a potato to Adam Bishop. Definitely. He's only 5 minutes down the road. So I'll get one to him and get him to give you guys a tag and stuff. So that'll be good. And hopefully that gets the Golden Potato in big demand.
It'd be really funny to see him really love it and then take it like to the Shaw Classic or something and tell all those guys what's going on, because I know he's
Golden Potato lift for Brian Shaw. Yeah, epic. Well, and if that does happen, then we know where it all started.
Which was great talking to you.
Insane. Likewise, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening.
I will indeed. Have a nice day. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
See ya.